Well, Los Angeles police say that a man was arrested for posing as a federal agent at an event for Democratic presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Police say that they were responding to a call about a man with a loaded gun in a holster claiming to have a U.S. Marshal's badge. The suspect did not threaten anyone, but it is raising questions about candidate security. We asked GOP candidate Asa Hutchinson about this earlier tonight.
Well, I wouldn't advocate for additional security unless the particular situation calls for it. We rely upon law enforcement who do such an incredible job in terms of protecting the venues.
Well, we are joined now by NewsNation national security contributor Tracy Walder, also former CIA officer and FBI special agent. Tracy, thanks so much for staying with us.
Thanks for having me, Natasha.
So Kennedy's campaign says that the man told their security team that he was part of Kennedy's security detail. He told them he needed to be taken to him immediately. How concerning is this incident? What are the takeaways for you?
It's concerning, and I certainly don't mean to make light of it, but the reality is a lot of these presidential candidates are unfortunately sometimes approached. What's interesting is if you start doing a little research into this individual, as really not that long ago in July of this summer, he was on TikTok talking about how he wanted to break kneecaps of politicians and was asking people to go to his site on Rumble, which is basically the extremist version of YouTube. So my concern actually is why he wasn't known to law enforcement before.
Interesting. You know, Kennedy using this incident to re-up his call for Secret Service protection. The agency typically doesn't provide security to candidates this far out. In your opinion, should he be afforded protection at this point, given this incident?
In my opinion, no. Yes, there are protocols in place that would then provide Secret Service security to him. That's not the point that he is at now. I get where he is coming from. I would probably feel the same way as well. But right now, and as the other presidential candidate was saying, I think that local law enforcement really is the key here, and that's what's going to protect him the most right now.
Okay, with the time we have, I do want to switch gears and get your take on the news tonight that El Chapo's son, known as the Mouse, has been extradited to the U.S. to face drug charges. I know you are well versed in the history and legacy of his father, El Chapo. Knowing what you know about him and the Sinaloa cartel, is this the victory in the fight against fentanyl that the Justice Department is claiming, or is that cartel like a hydra and this is far from over?
I know y'all are going to hate me for saying this, but I think that this is far from over. Really, these cartels operate a lot like terrorist networks. Yes, you take out the head, but he has very likely named someone to take his place. And it's supply and demand. The reality is this isn't going to stop. And the Sinaloa cartel already has a new person in place and has for a very long time.
Yeah, what do officials need to watch out for, given that El Chapo escaped twice from Mexican prison? And we know that his son has been arrested in Mexico before, but it was followed by a huge wave of cartel violence and chaos.
So I think really what first of all, I'm very glad that his son is finally here. I do think that that's going to mean he isn't going to escape like his father did multiple times. So that's a good thing. However, I do think we are going to see an uptick in cartel violence because other cartels might perceive this as a weakness by the Sinaloa cartel. You might see the Zetas or the Tijuana cartel really upping the ante here. However, I don't think that they'll be successful. But what I do think you might see is sort of this uptick in basically vying for territory.
Okay. Tracy Walder, appreciate the insight and perspective. Thank you so much for your time tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.